Hey folks, welcome back to Mark Kelly Farm. Sorry we haven't been doing any videos the last couple of days, or almost a week now. We've been extremely busy out here on the farm and doing some other stuff. If you didn't know, my granddaughter was visiting out here from California, so we've been spending a lot of time with her. And I just got her taken back to California yesterday. Did a rocket run there and back, four planes in about a day and a half, so it's been quite a trip. But I wanted to do a little video on a camp trailer that we made and we built ourselves and we put together, and I'll give you a little history on it. We were always kind of tent campers. We liked being in the outdoors. We couldn't understand going somewhere camping and spending all your time in a trailer, because we go camping to spend our time outdoors. But with that being said, we used to go what we call deer camping. I didn't necessarily hunt where we were out in California. The deer are pretty sparse, so it's almost like you're wasting your time out there. So I didn't get any serious deer hunting until I started coming out here to Nebraska, where there's actually deer. So so we would go hunting out in California in late October, towards the end of the season. So we would get some snow up in the Sierras up in there. And being a tent camper, we were okay with the temperature, because it got down to, I think, 17 degrees one night when we were camping in the tent, but we were plenty warm. But one year it snowed pretty hard, and we had to get up throughout the night and knock the snow off of the tent, otherwise it was going to cave in on us. So after that year, I got the idea to put this camper together. And basically what I wanted was like a tent on wheels, to where all I needed was a place to sleep and a place to store my stuff, so we didn't have to load it all the time, because that was another part of the camping, is you got to spend half a day loading your stuff. So with this camper that we were building, our stuff would already be on there, so all we'd have to get together is some food items, hook up the trailer, and go. So let's show you what we did. What we got was a 14-foot cargo trailer, and the reason I went with 14 foot, where we lived when I built this, it had to be parked in the driveway. So I measured it out, and the 14-foot cargo trailer gave us an overall footprint of almost, I think, 21 feet or 20 feet. So that fit in our driveway without encroaching onto the sidewalk. So that's why we got this size. And after we got it, it's the perfect size. It's not too big, not too small. We can get this into a lot smaller campsites than most people can get into. But this was just a plain old cargo trailer when we got it. It did not have the windows, and it did not have the RV lock. It didn't have the batteries and the propane rack and the spare tire and everything up here. It was just a plain Jane trailer. And I'll run down a picture of it when we got it and show it to you. So we picked it up. We drove about 3 hours to pick it up, because it was $1,000 cheaper where we went and got it than it was in the valley where we lived. So I can drive 3 hours to save $1,000. So when we got it, I built the battery rack and the propane rack. We got 2 propane bottles, so we can switch back and forth. We have one that we can run on while we fill the other, and they're the standard size propane bottles, so we can trade them in basically anywhere, because you can't always fill them. And everything I built has a lock on it, you'll notice. The propanes have a lock on the inside, locking the rack, the tanks into the rack. The battery's got a strap over where it locks. The spare tire's locked onto the cable. And with where we lived in California, if it was not locked or bolted down, it was going to be stolen. So that's why we had to do that. A lot of these locks are probably going to come off now that we're in Nebraska, and we don't really have to worry about it. And we're not going to go camping in places where we got to worry about it either. So one of the first things we did was put an RV lock on the door. So we had something we could actuate from the inside, because this is all that it comes with. And you'll notice I got another little hook over here. That was an idea that I had for when your door is unlocked. Like when we go camping, I don't lock this every day, but I can put that in there and lock that open, because the jokers that I go camping with will lock you in your own trailer. So that's just to keep people from playing around with me and locking me in my own trailer. So we added this RV lock. I also added a key box, so all the keys to the trailer, I have spares in that box. So if for some reason I lose my keys, or for some reason I lock myself out of the trailer, I can get into this key box and open everything up, and I'm not stuck. So we added the RV lock. It's got its own 2 locks on it, and you can actuate it from the inside as well. So we can lock the door when we're in there at night. We tend to lock the door when we're at night. We added some hangers on the door. At night when we go to bed, we'll hang our jackets and stuff on here so they're ready to go, or our clothes for the next day, something like that. I'll take you for a tour inside. You have to wait for the light to adjust a little bit. But we built all of this in here. The walls originally had like a 1/4 inch plywood, really flimsy. We replaced that with some 1/2 inch plywood. And we added the RV windows. We cut holes in here. We framed up all the way around the window, so that sandwiches real nice in there and stays nice and tight. Originally, we were going to look for a place for our granddaughter to sleep, put in like a fold-out bed or something in here. But when I got to looking outside with some of the other stuff that we were doing in the back, this worked out well up here. We did a little loft bed up top for any grandkids that go camping with us. And we built this little bookshelf kind of end table on the end on my side of the bed that doubles as a kind of a staircase to get up to the loft. My side of the bed, this is a full queen bed, and we wanted something that we didn't have to fold up every night, that would stay made. So we put a full queen size bed in here, which is 5 foot by 6 foot. Fits just fine. Kelly sleeps on this side, I sleep on this side, so I can kind of walk up and get in bed. She has no problem jumping out of bed. But when we put it together, we wanted to make it functional for what we do. We have USB ports over here for charging our phones. I have one on both sides. We have reading lights, LED reading lights underneath the deck here. I built Kelly a little shelf over there to put her phone charger on, and a water bottle or whatever else she needs over there. And this is our bunk up here. That's a light switch over there on the wall for our granddaughter's light up here in case she's doing something that she needs a light. These are all 12-volt lights. Here's a little area where she can store some of her stuff down here on the end if she wants to color or something like that. We got 2 more hooks on the wall. We got these hooks, I believe, from Home Depot. We really like them. They're like a dragonfly type hook. And then we can hang our hats over here, our camping hats. And then I put a light up top here for us. We did this whole ceiling up here. We got a smoke alarm, carbon monoxide detector in here. I installed this light down here on the floor because I get up a lot earlier than Kelly does. So rather than turn on the overhead light to get dressed, or if she gets up in the middle of the night to use her restroom down here, we can click on this light and it just lights the floor area and doesn't bother whoever's sleeping. So we have our little bookshelf down there that we keep books that we're reading in. We also have a folder that we keep with info in it. When we go to different campgrounds, we will do a full walkthrough tour of the campground and get a map from like the camp post or the kiosk when you go in the gate, and we'll mark the campsites that we really like. So when we reserve a campsite again, we can go to that folder and look at it and see which campsites we want to reserve, so we'll know ahead of time. We got the other overhead light up here. I think I've already shown you. This area here, we actually used the trailer before I had the front area put together. This is our clothes area. I have a closet in here where we hang our hanging clothes, jackets and stuff like that. And then Kelly also brings our clothes. We have a tub that goes in here, matches that lid, and we throw our dirty clothes into that tub. And then when she washes the clothes, we keep camping clothes in the trailer, so we don't have to pack our clothes. When she washes our clothes, she'll bring them back out in that tub, and we restock our clothing drawers down here. We each got 2 drawers, and these are full slide, full opening drawers. Come all the way out. You have full access to your clothes. We have our summer clothes in here now. But those got enough of a detent on them, they pretty much stay closed. Every now and then you'll stop and there'll be a drawer like half open or something. And then we have overhead storage up here. We keep our buddy heater and our fish and tackle box up here and a couple other little items. Buddy heaters are really handy. You can use them inside of a tent or inside of a camper, and you don't have to fear carbon monoxide because they're made to work inside, indoors. But you can see the floor here, it's getting a little warped, but I didn't really fasten this floor down. It's just kind of sitting in there. I'll probably have to get in there and put a couple screws in it just to hold that down. But we have a little desk area here. We usually put little odds and ends here. The buddy heater actually sits here when we're using it. And there is a connection ran in here for the buddy heater. It pulls out of here and connects. Have a big clock up front. We have more USB ports here. Also has a regular 12 volt outlet on there, and it also gives us our amperage in our battery. And then Kelly's charging one of our little lights here. And we have storage underneath the desks for different items. We have the garbage can down there. I was originally going to close this in, but it's a lot more handy to have it open like that. At night, Kelly just drags her toilet out and kind of leaves it out here. But this is a very unique portable toilet. It's got a freshwater storage system in the top and black water storage on the bottom. So when you use the restroom, you pump a little pump in there. It pumps fresh water into the top to wash down whatever you're leaving in there, and then you pull this handle down there and everything drops down into the bottom tank. It's pretty cool. Kelly found that somewhere online. And this is our large tool closet here for all of our long handle tools, fishing poles, all that stuff. Also has a battery cutout switch in there that cuts the battery out of the whole rest of the system. And then our wiring and our battery charger is in that closet down there. I would show you in there, but I'd have to pull all this stuff out of here. We have a flagpole that we put up underneath the hitch whenever we get to some place. And then more hooks up here. You can't have enough hooks. I'm thinking about even putting another couple hooks over here because we're always hanging jackets and clothes and stuff like that. So the floor, we just put some sealer on the floor and left it as is. We just sweep it out. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I am, however, going to come in later, I think, and put some baseboard around. But that's about the only thing that I still want to do to this trailer. To this day, using the trailer as much as we have, I still haven't come across much that I would have done different. I really haven't. We've been really pleased with this thing. So I made this step that I welded up underneath onto the frame. It's got a nice tread to it, so you're not going to slip off. A little rough on bare feet, so we like to keep some sandals or something in here if you're going to go out at night. This little item here is, we put that underneath the jack in the front when we take the trailer off of the truck, and then our flagpole goes into that. So we have our flag that flies on the front of the truck. We have 3 drawers underneath here that pull out, and we keep different items in here. Some of my cribbing and stuff is on this side because it's right inside the door, and some gloves and our flags that we put up on the flagpole. And these used to just be foot lockers, and I took this lid and I screwed the lid up underneath the bed, so the lid now acts as a rail to slide these drawers in and out. They're like a poly plastic, but we got 3 of those drawers, and then there's a metal tray underneath there that slides out that we can keep shoes and other little items on. And I'm gonna put some drawer slides on those so I can pull that tray out. Right now it just slides out. We got puck locks for the exterior. They're tamper-proof locks that go on here. When you got it locked, they cover the whole lock up. So that's the inside of the trailer. We put a motion sensor light out here, and we added that. There's a switch for it on the inside of the door so we can turn it on and off. If you're walking by the trailer all night, you don't want the light going on and off all the time. There's my shoreline. All it is a male plug hanging out of the front corner of the trailer. So when I'm parked at home, I just plug that in and it maintains the battery. We got an automatic battery maintainer. And we've also got the power coming from the truck, so as we drive down the road, it not only charges our brake battery, it also charges our regular battery. So we wanted a trailer with the double doors in the back, because my idea for the back was to make our outdoor kitchen out here. So all the other trailers had the ramp that folds down. You got the big long ramp for like toy haulers. But it took me a while to find the ones with the double doors, but we did find one, and it's actually cheaper with a double door. So we'll show you what's in here. Welcome to our kitchen. We do not have a gray tank because most of the places we camp, the water can just run out on the ground. It doesn't hurt nothing. And we don't do anything but wash our hands or wash kitchen utensils or whatever. But if we're someplace where they're real sticky about that, we have this bucket, and I just set the bucket down there underneath the outlet, and there's no problem. But we got our little sink. We have our little soap dispenser on our sink. That switch back there activates the RV pump for the water. It's all 12 volt. It's one of those pumps where once it comes to pressure, it stops pumping. So if you release the pressure, that's when it starts pumping. This switch up here turns on the kitchen lights underneath here if you need light. And back here we also have USB charger ports, regular 12 volt port, and you can read the voltage from back here also. We got our canisters and cutting board, little 2-burner stove that runs off that propane tank in the front. We have our spice rack up here. I made that spice rack. These bottles just snap in and out of there like that. That's where we keep our spices. And then I made those little hooks there out of some old spoons. We keep our little fire starter there. And then we have pantry up here. Teapots, pots and pans, salt and pepper, utensils, food items, you know, whatever we need to put up here. We have two cupboards, all the stuff we need. And then this is that bunk area that's up in the back. And if we ever get to a point where we're not taking grandkids with us or something like that, we don't need that bunk, we can always turn that into storage up there. But made a garbage bag hook here to hang our garbage bag on. This little flapper here just keeps our paper towel from spooling out, because before I put that on, the paper towel would come out and be blowed out all over the ground. So that just holds your paper towel from flying around. Another grocery bag we use for trash bag hook. Bottle opener. fire extinguisher, got a thermometer so we know what temperature it is outside. Now this storage underneath, I was originally going to put a door on that, but I got to thinking if I have a door, it's always going to be in the way. So we went with just a curtain, and it's Velcro on top. We can take it off if need be. But we have more storage under there. There's some larger pots and pans over here on the left side. This is our easy up canopy here that goes clear up underneath the bed. Up behind those drawers that were in the front, there's a wall right behind those drawers. So underneath that bed is all storage, and that's where all this goes. We have a folding picnic table. We have 2 benches for that picnic table. We have our snorkel gear if we need that. This is my med bag here. I used to be an EMT, so I like to keep a lot of supplies with me. I got instant glucose in there. I got tourniquets. I got airways. I got bandages. I got, you know, you name it, I got it. Blood pressure cuffs, stethoscope, all that stuff. And we got 2 of the zero gravity chairs underneath there. Remember, on this side we have the walkway and that little shelf. So under here just goes underneath the stove is all that is there. But like I said, we have larger pots in there if we want to boil water or something like that. Now this side over here, you got the drain for the sink, and then about that width goes up underneath the bed. It's been sectioned off from the storage, and there's the water tank, and there's also a hidden compartment up in there that you can only access from underneath the bed, but there's no other entrance to it. So if I ever need to smuggle something, I have a hidden compartment. Used to be I thought I'd like to put some cool fireworks in there. If I ever came through Wyoming or something, I could bring back some cool fireworks. But now we live in Nebraska where that stuff is legal. Gotta love it. We've got our fire poker in there for tending the fire whenever we get a camp going. But that's what's underneath here. The water pump is 12 volt. However, if for some reason we ever lose voltage or the battery goes dead, we can get water just from this drain right here from Gravity. And then we added this filler for the water tank right there. So even if the power goes out, we can still function. We have electric lanterns and stuff that we can use inside. So even if we lose complete battery power, this trailer is still going to function. Needs no electricity for that stove. It's purely gas. So that's our trailer. We call it a Tramper, and if you look online, like on YouTube under Tramper, you'll see similar builds. Tramper is obviously a combination of the words trailer and camper. Duh. We put our little level indicators, one on the side down here, so we know when we're level front to back. But I always leave my head higher in the bed, so it's always down in the front a little bit. And then have another level indicator up here that I can see in the rear view mirror. So as I'm backing up, if I hit a spot where we're level side to side, I can just stop. We also bought one of these 100-quart ice chests. We do not have a refrigerator in the trailer, but we didn't want to put a refrigerator in the trailer because that's more juice and more space. And what I like about this, it's a big 100-quart ice chest. I put it in the back of my truck. So once we dump the trailer off, if we're running around town doing something like that and we need to buy something, the ice chest is already in the truck. If we're buying food or something, we just throw it in the ice chest. That ice chest looks big, and it's big and heavy, but it stays in the truck. The only reason I have it out here is because I took it out of the truck because I didn't want it stolen. I drove through the big city here over yesterday. So when we're camping, that stays in the back of the truck. So like I said, if we're out driving around, we go by a store, we already have the ice chest. We don't have to worry about it. We can pick up ice, pick up food or whatever. I added this bed extension in here that also serves to keep things from sliding up in the front of the cab. So this holds the ice chest real nicely up here without, and keeps it from sliding around. So the irrigating out here again, you probably heard that pivot in the background. I apologize for that noise or any wind noise that you've heard. But that's our Tramper. We purposely did not put any holes in the top of this trailer. There's no vents up there, nothing. I don't want any leaks. So we left the top completely watertight. There's no air conditioner on this thing. All you have is some windows. But I don't like camping in 100-degree heat anyway, so I never went camping when it was hot. So we hope you like our little trailer project. If you want to build one, it was a really fun build. I got it when I retired in 2017, March 2017, and that's when I started working on it. And it took about a year to put together, just working on it here and there. It's a good project. Kelly worked on it with me. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Come on back and see us at Mark Kelly Farm.